Hey artists, today you will brainstorm things that you like about winter. Then you will trace some shapes to start a drawing that you will then fill with paper that you will glue and collage to create a mosaic collage inspired by things that you like about winter. You will overlap papers to fill your shapes that you drew using paper and glue sticks, and then later we will add some details onto these things. Start by deciding what shape you would like to trace. A triangle is perfect for a tree, a circle is great for a Christmas bulb, a square could be a gift, or you could use multiple circles to create a snowman. Think about things that you like about winter. Choose a favorite color paper and a tracer and trace either with a pencil or a Sharpie. It is up to you. This triangle is for a tree because I love how trees get snow on them outside in the winter. And then I can also make a square for a gift because this is a great time of year to show people how much you care about them by giving them different types of gifts. So pick a paper and a tracer and get started. Once you have your shape drawn, you will get lots of scraps of paper. We are going to not use scissors today, but we are going to use our fingers to tear paper. Find a bunch of the color that you need, and they don't have to all be the exact same. Notice how I have some tissue paper white and some regular white to start to fill in my snowman. When you start to glue, put a little bit of glue down to start to fill your shape with paper. You can't fill the entire shape with glue because it will dry. Now, once I have part of my shape filled with glue, I am tearing paper to fit it right into the lines that I've drawn. So I don't want it to go over my line, so I might have to overlap my papers, and that actually makes a really cool texture and design called a mosaic. We are going to have the papers fit together kind of like a messy puzzle so that they make some texture on our design. Notice how I'm making really small papers, and then once they're glued down, I can flip my paper over and give it a massage. That's also how I can check to make sure that everything is stuck down. If I need to fill in some spaces where I can still see the blue paper behind, I can add a little bit more glue. Okay, that's how you use good craftsmanship. Go up to the line, use glue, give your paper a massage, and tear the pieces and overlap them. This first circle is good craftsmanship. Now, my second circle, I'm going to show you what not to do. Notice how that paper I didn't tear and I just put it onto the circle and it went over all of the edges. Okay, again, I'm not tearing the pieces and I'm just slapping things on and not being very careful with where my lines were that I already drew. That second circle is not great craftsmanship. I also didn't give my paper a massage. This bottom circle, I'm going to try to use good craftsmanship again. So I'm tearing the pieces so that they fit inside the shape and they go right up to the line. I'm using a variety of pieces in different shapes and designs because that is more interesting in my artwork. So I'm using some of the opaque white and some of the tissue paper kind of see-through white to have a variety of whites in my artwork. I'm being careful where I go up to the edges, and I'm tearing my paper so that they can fit and fill the shape that I drew. Don't forget, when you are done filling all the spots, if you need a little bit more glue because of the overlapping, you can add more glue and then flip your paper over and give it a massage. Here's another example of a tree, which is really fun because I can use a variety of different shades of green, and I also like how it looks like a real tree with the way that I'm tearing my paper. Our papers from our roller coasters are great for tearing to do this. This is also cool to overlap the different shades of green and make it look like layers of an evergreen tree outside. Notice how I have some painted paper that has different colors in it as well, because we know that things in nature have lots of different colors. I'm using good craftsmanship by filling it up to the edge and giving the back of my paper a massage. Last but not least, I'm creating a present inside this square. We can add details like a bow and other designs later, but right now we just want to fill in whatever shape we traced with our main color. So I decided I wanted to do red, so I'm starting with some glue and lining up my small pieces to the edge. Notice how I'm tearing as I go and pressing them down so that they stick down. Once I've gone over all of my glue, I add more, and I also want to overlap. And again, I can use a variety of different shades of red to give this more texture and make it more interesting and get everything stuck and glued down as I'm going. It's fun to see how interesting this mosaic collage will look with the different shapes and designs that you're overlapping and the different shades of your colors as you are using good craftsmanship with the glue, your fingers, and the paper. Don't forget to give it a massage as you go and get all the way up to the lines that you drew. Next time you will get to use some special supplies to add more details and designs onto these collage artworks. Good luck!